Hello my friends, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're all having a great day. Today I have come to recreate a look that I had been wearing in my bathroom, the bronze look. So this is the look. Of course it will look a little bit different because I am sitting in front of the beauty light now versus the sunlight window. But these are all of the products that I used, with the exception of a few which I will explain in the video. All right, so I hope you enjoy it. Stick around. All right, my friends, let's get started. The first step I'm going to do is put on my Becca Backlight primer. I really like this. It looks like that. I put 2 pumps in my hand and I'm just going to go ahead and pat it all over, and it just gives you a really nice glow. And the foundation I'm using today, I need a little bit of glow underneath it. So I'm just going to put that. Now I had already done all of my skincare, and I did go ahead and use a pore primer in my T-zone area before I came on camera because it's simply a must. I need to reach for a towel. All right, so I've put that on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to prime my eyelids. I'm going to try the Stay Don't Stray. I've been using this one actually, and I kind of like it because it gives enough coverage for my darkness. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that on the lids. I usually use MAC's Soft Ochre when I'm doing this look, but I bought this, oh, I don't know, about a week and a half ago, and I really did like it. I'm just going to, because I need to get rid of some more of the color, so I'm just going to tap a little bit more of this on, and this is the light medium, and I think it only comes in that. But it does say light medium on the bottom. And you see how I pretty much just tap that in? Okay. So both of my eyelids are primed with my Stay Don't Stray. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation. And the foundation I'm using today is by Chanel. And it is the Beiges. And it does come in a nice little pump, and it's a messy little pump right now. Joelle actually sent me this in my last package. I've not seen the Beiges in my area. Okay, so I'm going to start out with 2 pumps on my dampened beauty blender. Just going to put a dot. Most of my foundation goes here because I put most of it in the T-zone area. So I'm just going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to tap that out. This has a really fresh smell. Usually Chanel is highly fragranced. It does have a little fragrance to it, but it's really, it's not bad. I really like this foundation. I find that it wears really well on me. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more on. This color was perfect. I'm going to go right over my eyes with this. I haven't done my concealer yet. I'll do that after. But I'm just going to go right over it, just for an extra boost of coverage there. It doesn't really interfere with the primer. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take my most favorite concealer, and that is the Naked Skin by Urban Decay, and I am in the light medium neutral. I am just about finished with this one, but yes, I have a backup because I absolutely love this concealer. It works very well with my aging eye. This is a favorite of a lot of people on YouTube. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and swipe that underneath my eye. Pretty good amount. I'm going to take my favorite Morphe concealer brush, which is the Morphe E8. These are inexpensive brushes. I don't think they're the best brushes on the market, but this one here is a fave. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend that down. I just really do a tapping motion, and as I'm tapping, I'm dragging just slightly down. And I go right up there underneath the eye, and I extend it out to my temple just to widen that up a little bit, because you know with age we lose our volume there. So I just go up, and you can even do a little over your eyelid if you want, especially if you're dark, because you really need to get that out so that your shadows stay nice and true to color. All right, because my lips and my eyes without any primer on them will turn eyeshadows and lipsticks crazy colors. All right, so same thing here, gonna get right up under there and then just do a slight dragging down. I don't really go into the V all the time. I mean, it's nice if you want to put that highlight and glow underneath there, but we have to really look at our own faces and say, okay, I'm a little too old and a little too wrinkly for all that stuff on my face, so I gotta pull it back a little. But if you're really just feathering it down, it really doesn't show as another layer on our skin. Okay, so there is our concealer. All right, I need to put everything I use back in the little bucket so I know when I'm listing under my video everything I've used. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to set underneath my eyes, and this here is something that's kind of trial and error for your own face. You need to find what works for you. This concealer works really well for me, and I find that when you're doing the baking underneath your eyes, to have a concealer that is a little more moist and then you do the baking works better on an aging eye. I did use the RCMA. It shows up a little bright and raccoony for me, so I'm going to stick with my beautiful Laura Mercier translucent powder. I happen to think this is one of the best for baking underneath the eyes. And why do I bake underneath my eyes? Because as we get older, it does want to crease, and if we don't set that, it's going to crease worse. Now you would think, well, you're adding all that powder underneath your eyes, that's going to just make it look old. For some reason, the Laura Mercier and the Urban Decay do not do that for me, and it's amazing how well it holds your concealer in place. Now here is a trick that you must do. You must tap out the eye before you put the powder to make sure there are no creases that have already begun. And then you're going to take your damp beauty blender or a brush, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use the beauty blender today, and that's quite a bit of powder. Now I'm going to take my mirror and I'm just going to go ahead and pack that on, and it's quite a bit. And I'm going to get right up into where all of my little creases are. Okay, and then you're just going to leave that alone. Okay, same thing on the other eye. Get a good amount. I think working with the beauty blender damp is really nice, but if you prefer to do this with a brush, the Wayne Goss number 2 brush works really well for this. Just leave it. Okay, and let it just sit there and do its thing, and it will do its thing. Okay, I don't do it on my whole face, I just do it underneath the eyeballs. Now I'm going to go ahead with my La Mer. You know, sometimes I say La Mer, sometimes I say La Mer, and I don't think La Mer or La Mer cares how I say it as long as I am spending my money with them. So I'm going to say La Mer because I know that's actually the name, but sometimes I slip up and call it La Mer, so shoot me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this in the cap, not too much. This is a very beautiful powder, and you don't need a whole lot of it. I'm going to go ahead and use a Real Technique brush, and it's just a big, this is their, what is this? This is their powder brush that I'm actually using. I'm going to go ahead and load up that brush. I kind of do the same thing with this powder that I do with my Laura Mercier. I put it in, it's so finely milled. I put it in the brush, I tap a little off, and then I pounce all around my face. I don't rub my powder on, I pounce it on, because you know I'm a patter. And then the same thing, pick up a little more. I'm going to go ahead and tap it off, do my forehead. This powder is so finely milled, so beautiful, so sheer. No old face hates it. It's expensive, but it is a beauty. Okay? So there we go. I'm all powdered up now, okay? Now, again, I don't bake my face. Some people bake their face. I do pat the powder on, and then when I'm going about my bronzer and my blush and everything, I start to really blend it down. Bronzer today, I am going to try something new, and it is by La Mer, and I actually follow someone on Instagram, Rhonda. She's a subscriber of mine who I follow on her Instagram. She posted this, and I said, ooh la la, I think I need to have. And it's really just beautiful. Again, astronomically priced, but it is so gorgeous. I just had to try it. And it smells divine. Okay, so I thought I would go ahead and use it so you all could see if it's worth it. Now, it has the same concept as the Galan. It has different colors in it. Now I tend to play with it a little bit. I take all of the colors at first, and then I swirl them this way, swirl them that way, and then I apply. But you can also just work with smaller ones, which I'm going to play with. I actually don't care for this brush with it, but it's the one I have, my bronzer. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'm just going to go into the brush. I'm going to swirl it around and swirl it around and swirl it around, but I'm going to end in the deeper tones. All right, so I've got my product. I'm going to tap off a little bit, and I'm going to just apply it. And this is so beautiful and just so gorgeous a color. Now I'm going to go ahead with the brush on its side, and I'm going to pick up more of the deep tones. It is very finely milled before it is packed, but it's so gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and just really play that up. And with this, you don't really need to, oh, it looks like a circus right now with the white in this. You don't really need to have a lot of blush on with this, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead, ending in the dark shades, put it on, and I'm going to go ahead and just put my bronzer on. It smells beautiful. And then I'm just going to go up on the hairline a little bit. I stay high on my hairline, and I don't run it down my temple because I'm losing volume in the temple, so I don't want to accentuate that. I'm going to go on the side now, pick up some of the deeper tone, and go back into that cheek area, okay? So now it looks like, whoa, she has too much on. I always go in, this is when I go back now, and I buff down until I get it where I want it, and it just looks beautiful. Okay, it still looks like it's a lot because I have the white around my eyes, but that'll come off shortly and we'll be good. All right, so I've done my bronzer. Now, if you feel you need to add a little bit of contour, you go right ahead. But when I'm doing a bronzed look, I try to stay away from the harshness of a contoured look. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of Laura Mercier powder on my lid. So I'm gonna tap, make sure there's no crease. And I'm just gonna put a little powder. That just gives me a nice little canvas to work with my shadows, okay? And it's just a light dusting on it, but you'll see it just gives it a better finish. All right, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna start, and we're gonna use our Kat Von D Shade and Light. The color I'm going to use today is right here. This one, was that the one I used? Yes. This one here, I'm gonna go ahead and start using in my crease. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that, and I'm gonna tap it off. And I'm just going to start working that area right where my crease is. Just sculpt that out. When you're working with satin finish, you have to have a little bit of matte in there. So I'm going to use the matte as my transition colors. And I'm going to work with two colors for the transition. Going in, picking up some more of that, tapping it off. And I'm just going to deepen my crease line. Notice I'm not dragging out really far here. You don't want to do that because then you pull your eye down, and we're already sagging enough. We don't need to sag anymore. All right, so we're just going to deepen that out, and if you look at both of my eyes, you can definitely see that I have created a crease, a deeper, sharper one. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so you can see now that I've started the contour, which is giving me a lot more definition to my eye than I actually have. Okay, so that's the look we're going for. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to get another blending brush. All right, now I'm going to go in, I'm going to pick up some of that peach from the Kat Von D, okay? And we're just going to take another fluffy brush, a little bit looser than a 217. That was a 217 I was using. So this one is a little bit looser. Pick up some of that peach, and you're going to soften that line with the peach or whatever color works with your skin tone. So that may be a soft pink. And we're going to go ahead and just soften the top part of that line, okay? And blend it out, okay? Same thing, we're gonna pick up some of that peach. Not too much, you don't need a lot of it, just a little bit. And we're gonna soften the lines on the upper part where we applied that crease color. This is very important with age, it's very important with being young. Blending is such an important part of looking good. All right, so we have blended that out and they're both pretty even. We can come back towards the end and see what we need to fix up. All right, so now the next step I'm going to do is, this is with the Paris Nude Viseart palette, and I'm going to be using in this palette, which ones do I use? Okay, Let me put it right. So in this palette, I'm going to use this color, and this color, okay? Now, I'm not going to use a brush for this. I'm going to use my finger. I know some of the makeup artists out there in the world are going, ah, don't do it, but I'm going to. All right, I'm going to go in because I find that these shadows pick up better and place better on the eye. Now I know you can wet them, but that's not the look I'm going for. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to go into this color here in the palette. And it's just a really pretty, very pale goldy bronze. And I'm going to place that on my lid. And it's going to really be the center color. And I'm going to tap it on and really build that up. You can take it all the way in because we're going to put some other colors in there. But you want to really build that up. And I find that doing it with my hand is the best way. My finger. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that I have that packed on there. It's such a beautiful shade. Can you see it, my friends? It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. Now the look's going to look slightly different in here because I was sitting in front of the natural light when I did this, but it's still just as beautiful. It's one of my most favorite looks right now. All right, same thing on this side. Okay, so I have it built up to where I like it. Now, another thing about leaving the powder on, it's good because any fallout that happens is going to just sweep away with it. So I'm not really worried about the fallout that's happening. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to take the burnt color right here, the burnt red bricky color. Going to put that on the tip of my finger, and that's what that one looks like. And I'm going to apply it just to the outer corner. I'm not really dragging it in because we are going to blend, so don't worry about it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to touch that color right in the outer corner. Same thing on this side, outer corner. You can bring it in slightly if you like, but not too much. You want the center to be your focus. Okay, so there we go. Now, the lighter of the three right here, and I'm going to go ahead and pick that up, and I'm going to tap that on the inner section of the eye. You see that? Okay. These are beautiful shades, and I'm just tapping it on the center part. I'm not really dragging it over. And you can really build that up also. So now I'm going to take a soft brush, and I like to blend with this one. It's the Beiges Tools. It's just a nice brush. So now I'm going to hold it really far back because I have a tendency to be heavy-handed. And I'm going to start with the lighter, and I'm just going to soften the line, and I'm going to carry that satin finish up just slightly into the crease. And we are going to soften that whole look right there. And then when you get to the end, you're just lightly blending that color in. So it almost looks like everything's just one, but it's not. You definitely can see it when you're looking at it yourself. So I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so that is all we're going to do right now. So now I'm going to go in with the powder brush, and I'm going to just sweep all of that away. Just sweep all... Oops, I'm sorry, I was out of frame. I'm just sweeping all of this away, okay? So really a nice sweep, and you see how soft that looks under the eye? It is just beautiful. You have to start trying it, okay? And then we're just going to sweep all of this away. Really give it a good sweep because you want to make sure you get all the excess up. All right, so that is what it looks like when you're really close up. It's such a soft, beautiful look, okay? All right, so now we want to work a little bit on the under eye. I'm going to go back in with that Kat Von D, and I'm going to take this color right here, and I'm going to use a very thin dome brush, and this is 219 by MAC. I'm going to take a little bit of that color. I'm going to tap this off really well. Now I have contacts, so I have to work very carefully. So I'm going to lean my head, and I'm going to tap this color on, because if I rub it, it goes all on my contact. So I'm going to tap this color on underneath, and I'm going to draw it up into that corner. Okay, so you can see the difference. It's just a light color application at first. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so both eyes are done. I wanted to point out now, you notice that the bronzer that I put on has blended into the face, taking that whiteness. It looked very like, woo, she put a lot on. But once you remove the powder out from underneath your eyes, it all blends in. Okay, so now I want to marry the family, the upper to the lower. So I'm going to take a little bit of the mid-tone color that I used. I'm going to take that same dome brush and I'm going to run the satin finish over the color I used. Oh, I'm out of camera. That's what happens when I zoom in so closely. I can't see. Here, I'll do it with this mirror, then I can see it. Okay, so I'm just going over this with the slight satin finish. That's what I like about the Viseart shadows too. They're a satin finish. They're not real sparkly or glittery, which would not work for us unless you love that look, and then you can wear whatever you want. So I'm going to take the Revolution blush and I'm going to use this one right here. This is the Hot Spice set. And you get these at Ulta. It's very nice. So I'm just going to take a brush, I'm going to use this one actually from MAC because I just want a slight bit of blush on my cheek. So I'm going to go ahead and use that top one and I'm going to tap it off. And then I'm just going to brush it on lightly. And this has its own satin finish to it. You don't want to get crazy with satin finish when you have so much satin on your eyes as an aging woman, okay? But we want to have a little bit of a glow. And you need to have just a slight bit of blush on with this bronzer. But the bronzer has so much color itself, it's not bad. All right, so I'm just going to take my brush lightly and I'm going to go ahead and just blend those colors in. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my brows on. I'll put my brows on and then I'm going to tightline with my Nars Apia. I know I use it in every video, but I just can't help it. I'm going to do these off camera because it'll just cut. I've done it so many times in a video that I'm sure people know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows. I'm going to do the tight line. And then I am going to put my mascara on and I will be back for the lips. All right, so you hang tight. All right, so I did my eyebrows with Anastasia's brow definer. I will list everything underneath for you. Nars Apia eyeliner on the tight line. And the mascara I used today is my Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara, but in the video I actually used the YSL sample, but it's pretty well gone. So I used the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye today. So now we're going to do the lips. And for the lips, you can take this so many different ways because I'm going to use the Tom Ford Guilty Pleasure because that's what I used in my video. And I did use it with Burnt Cinnamon by Gucci. So that's exactly what I will do in today's video. Color in the outer portion slightly, like so. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the top. All right, so there's the top. Now I'm going to color it in. Going on an angle here. I'm not just coming straight down. I'm going on an angle. Touch your lips together. All right. So I'm going to use the Guilty Pleasure by Tom Ford. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. And voila. I'm going to go take my hair down, change my top, come back and show you the finished look. product, the finished look. All right, my friends, I'm back with a complete look, and of course I put my hair down, I put some clothes on, but I wanted to show you how you can change this look just by adding a different lipstick. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to take this lipstick off. I have to touch over my lips slightly to take the blueness out of them. And then I'm going to powder lightly. I'm not going to add any more powder. I'm just going to go over with the brush. And now I'm going to put a brighter, which I could wear with this sweater. I'm going to put a brighter lipstick on and show you the difference. All right, so here I go. All right, so I put my liner on, and the liner I'm using right now is by Giorgio Armani. And it is that smooth silk lip liner that I showed you in my favorite liners, and it's the number 6. So I will put that underneath for you, and I'm going to use the Gucci Fever lipstick, and it is this Gucci? Gucci, yes, Gucci. And it is number 350. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. So you can see how beautiful this look would look with brighter. Because if you're like me, I don't always like a nude lip. And there you go. There it is with a little more color. My hair is melting, melting, melting because I had a hot flash. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it helped you out to achieve this look, no matter the colors you choose for your skin type, because you can use any satin finish eyeshadows for this. Any bronze that is compatible to your skin tone would be just perfect. And again, like I said, you can play with your lipstick. I actually like it with a brighter lip. I like it with the Guilty Pleasures by Tom Ford. So you can definitely do many things with it. All right, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe because we're anti-aging here. So be happy, healthy, beautiful, and most of all, my friends, lovable. I love you all. Thank you for all of the time that you spend with me. I really do appreciate it. Bisous.